Stop everything you are doing right now. I mean it. Put down whatever you are holding. Turn off the other tabs. Silence the notifications. Because in the next few moments, you are going to feel something shift in your chest. And when you do, you will understand why heaven synchronized this exact moment for only a small number of people worldwide to receive this message. And you are one of them. There it is, that flutter in your chest, that sudden heaviness in the air around you. Your guardian angel just broke through years of spiritual interference to deliver something that has been locked in heaven's vault with your name on it since before you were born. What you are experiencing now is not emotional suggestion, and it is not coincidence. It is recognition. Something inside you is responding because it remembers a truth you have carried for a long time, even if you never had words for it. Long before this moment, long before today, something was placed within you that required the right alignment to awaken. That alignment is happening now, quietly but unmistakably. You may not fully understand it yet, but understanding is not required for activation. Awareness is enough. You have lived with a sense that something was always just out of reach. You tried to explain it away as restlessness, ambition, or dissatisfaction, but none of those words ever fully fit. The truth is, you were sensing a calling without context, a direction without a map. That tension you felt was not because you were lost. It was because you were ahead internally while your environment lagged behind. That mismatch creates pressure, and pressure without understanding can feel like exhaustion. This moment is not random, and it is not late. It arrived precisely when you were ready to perceive it. Had it come earlier, you might have ignored it. Had it come later, you might have been too worn down to respond. Timing matters more than intensity, and what is unfolding now is calibrated to your current capacity, not your past strength. You may notice that your breathing has subtly changed, that your body feels more alert even as your mind grows calmer. That is because resistance is loosening. For a long time, you have been carrying weight that was never meant to be permanent. You learned to live with it, to function despite it, to normalize what was actually a signal. Signals exist to be noticed, not endured forever. The reason distractions tried so hard to keep your attention elsewhere is simple. Clarity dismantles confusion instantly. Once you see clearly, manipulation loses its grip. Once you recognize what is happening internally, external pressure loses its authority. That is why your attention matters so much in this moment. Awareness is the doorway. Without it, nothing changes. With it, everything begins to shift. You have been tired in a way that sleep could not fix. Even after rest, something still felt heavy. That kind of exhaustion does not come from effort alone. It comes from internal conflict, from carrying purpose without permission to express it, from being ready for a season that has not yet opened. When readiness outpaces opportunity, the soul grows weary. That does not mean you are broken. It means you are prepared. There were times you questioned yourself deeply. You wondered if you were imagining things, if you were asking for too much, if your expectations were unrealistic. Those doubts were not proof of error. They were symptoms of delay. When something meaningful is postponed, doubt fills the space it leaves behind. Now that space is closing. Every obstacle you faced served a function. Every closed door protected you from entering prematurely. Every disappointment refined your discernment. You were not being punished. You were being trained. Training often feels unfair when you don't yet see the purpose, but clarity retroactively redeems confusion. You will soon understand why certain things could not work before now. What you carry requires integrity, patience, and awareness. It cannot coexist with constant distraction or shallow alignment. That is why your life began shedding what could not come with you. Relationships shifted, interests changed, priorities rearranged themselves. You may have felt lonely in those moments, but loneliness was not the goal. Focus was. This phase is about internal agreement. When your thoughts, values, and actions align, momentum follows naturally. Until then, progress feels forced. That is why pushing harder never worked the way you hoped. You were not meant to force your way forward. You were meant to recognize your direction. Notice how certain fears are losing their urgency. They may still appear, but they no longer dominate. That is not coincidence. Fear thrives in uncertainty. As clarity forms, fear weakens. It does not disappear instantly, but it loses its authority. You are no longer being driven by reaction. You are beginning to move from intention. The shift you are experiencing now is foundational. It is not the result yet. It is the preparation for results that last. Many people rush past this phase because it feels subtle. They chase visible outcomes without building internal structure. What you are doing now is different. You are establishing stability before expansion. You may feel moments of stillness that feel unfamiliar. Do not mistake them for stagnation. Stillness is where recalibration occurs. It is where systems reset, priorities reorder, and strength consolidates. Nature itself grows this way. Roots deepen in silence before growth appears above ground. This is the beginning of conscious movement. You are no longer drifting or reacting. You are becoming aware of choice again. That awareness is power. Power does not announce itself loudly. It settles in quietly and changes how you move. As this first part comes to a close, understand this clearly. Nothing in your past was wasted. Nothing you endured was meaningless. Nothing you questioned was ignored. You are not starting over. You are starting aligned. As this awareness deepens, you may begin to notice how differently you respond to situations that once overwhelmed you. Things that used to provoke immediate anxiety or urgency now feel more distant, as if you are observing them rather than being pulled into them. This is not indifference. It is perspective. Perspective allows you to see what matters without being consumed by what doesn't. And this shift alone begins to change the way your life unfolds. For a long time, you were operating in survival mode. You learned how to manage stress, how to endure uncertainty, how to function despite internal unrest. Survival teaches resilience, but it is not meant to be permanent. Living too long in survival dulls sensitivity and exhausts joy. What is happening now is a transition out of that state. Your system is learning that it no longer has to brace for impact at every turn. This transition may feel disorienting at first. When tension has been constant, calm can feel unfamiliar, even suspicious. You might catch yourself waiting for the next problem, the next disruption, the next setback. That anticipation is a habit formed by experience, not a prophecy. The absence of immediate struggle does not mean something is wrong. It means something has shifted. You are beginning to trust yourself again. Not because you suddenly have all the answers, but because you are learning to listen more carefully. You are noticing subtle internal cues that guide you away from what drains you and toward what restores you. These cues were always there, but noise made them hard to hear. Now that the noise is fading, guidance feels clearer. There may be moments when you feel a strong urge to simplify. This can show up as a desire to reduce commitments, limit conversations, or step back from environments that once felt normal. This is not withdrawal, it is discernment. You are instinctively protecting your energy because you sense that what comes next will require clarity and focus. You may also notice changes in how you view time. Rushing feels less appealing. Waiting feels less threatening. You are starting to recognize that timing is not an obstacle but a partner. Things unfold more smoothly when they are allowed to arrive in alignment rather than being forced into place. Patience is no longer something you tolerate. It is becoming something you value. As your internal alignment strengthens, external resistance may increase briefly. Not because you are moving in the wrong direction, but because change disrupts established patterns. People, habits, and situations that relied on your previous availability may push back when they sense a shift. This resistance is not a sign to stop. It is confirmation that movement is happening. You are also becoming more selective with your attention. You are noticing how certain information, conversations, or content affects your emotional state. What once felt entertaining may now feel draining. What once felt motivating may now feel hollow. This refinement is not about judgment, it is about nourishment. You are learning to feed your mind and spirit what actually sustains you. There may be moments of grief as you recognize how much energy you spent trying to make things work that were never meant to last. Allow that grief to surface without shame. Grief is not weakness, it is release. You are not mourning failure, you are mourning misalignment. And once that morning passes, clarity remains. Your sense of identity is also recalibrating. You are no longer defining yourself by constant effort, by how much you endure, or by how much you sacrifice. You are beginning to recognize that worth is not earned through exhaustion. It is inherent. This realization changes how you approach everything: work, relationships, rest, and ambition. You may feel drawn to fewer but deeper connections. Surface-level interaction no longer satisfies you the way it once did. You crave honesty, presence, and mutual respect. This does not mean you are becoming isolated. It means you are becoming intentional. Depth requires space, and space requires choice. Notice how often clarity comes after you pause rather than when you push. This is not accidental. You are learning that insight often arrives when pressure subsides. The more you allow yourself to slow down, the more your internal compass corrects itself. This is how alignment stabilizes. You may also notice that your tolerance for chaos is decreasing. Situations that once felt manageable now feel disruptive. This is not fragility, it is refinement. You are no longer designed to absorb everything. You are designed to choose what you carry. As this part continues, you may feel a growing readiness, not impatience, but openness. You are no longer clinging to specific outcomes. You are making room for what fits who you are becoming, not who you used to be. This openness is fertile ground. It allows opportunities to meet you where you are, not where you were. Your values are clarifying. What once felt negotiable now feels essential. What once demanded your attention now feels optional. This recalibration will soon guide decisions that shape your next season. When values are clear, choices become simpler even when they are difficult. There may still be moments of doubt. Growth does not erase uncertainty instantly, but doubt no longer paralyzes you the way it once did. You are learning to move forward even when everything is not fully resolved. This is not recklessness. It is trust in your ability to adapt. As part 2 comes to a close, remember this: you are not losing anything essential. You are shedding what cannot support your next level of clarity. What feels like emptiness is actually space, and that space is about to be filled intentionally. At this stage, something subtle but powerful begins to settle inside you, a sense of inner steadiness that does not depend on circumstances. You may notice that your reactions are slower, not because you care less, but because you are no longer being driven by urgency. You are learning to respond rather than react. This shift changes how you experience conflict, opportunity, and uncertainty. Instead of being pulled in every direction, you are beginning to move from a centered place. You may also notice that your internal dialogue is changing. Where there was once harsh self-criticism, there is now curiosity. Where there was once pressure to perform, there is now permission to pause. This does not mean you have lost ambition. It means your ambition is being refined. You are no longer chasing outcomes to prove your worth. You are choosing paths that align with who you are becoming. As this steadiness grows, you begin to see your past more clearly. Moments that once felt like failures now reveal themselves as lessons. Detours that once frustrated you now appear as protection. You start to understand that not everything that didn't work was meant to work. Some experiences existed solely to teach discernment, resilience, and self-trust. This reframing brings peace where resentment once lived. There is also a growing awareness of how deeply interconnected your inner state and your outer world truly are. When your thoughts are scattered, your environment reflects that chaos. When your inner world is aligned, your external experiences begin to reorganize themselves. This does not happen through force. It happens through consistency. Small internal shifts create significant external changes over time. You may find that you are less willing to engage in conversations that drain you. Topics that revolve around fear, scarcity, or constant comparison may now feel exhausting. This is not because you are avoiding reality, but because you are choosing where to place your attention. Attention is energy, and energy is finite. You are learning to invest it wisely. This phase also brings a clearer sense of boundaries. Not rigid walls, but intentional limits that protect your focus and well-being. You may say no more often, not out of resistance, but out of respect for your capacity. You may step back from situations that once demanded your constant presence. This is not withdrawal, it is recalibration. Boundaries create the conditions necessary for sustainable growth. As your boundaries strengthen, you may notice resistance from others who are accustomed to your availability. This resistance can show up as confusion, disappointment, or even criticism. It is important to remember that not everyone will understand your growth in real time. Understanding often comes later. Your responsibility is not to manage others' reactions, but to remain honest with yourself. You are also developing a deeper trust in your intuition. This trust is not blind or impulsive. It is informed by experience, reflection, and alignment. You are learning to recognize the difference between fear-based hesitation and intuition-based caution. One constricts, the other clarifies. The more you listen, the clearer this distinction becomes. There may be moments when you feel caught between the familiar and the unknown. The familiar, even when limiting, can feel safe simply because it is known. The unknown, even when promising, can feel intimidating because it requires trust. This tension is natural. Growth often involves standing at the edge of what you know while sensing that something more aligned awaits you. Give yourself permission to stand there without rushing. You may also notice that your definition of success is changing. Success is no longer just about achievement or recognition. It is increasingly about peace, integrity, and sustainability. You are beginning to value outcomes that support your well-being rather than undermine it. This shift will influence the choices you make moving forward, often in ways that surprise you. As you continue to align internally, you may experience moments of clarity that feel almost effortless. Solutions appear without strain. Insights arise without force. This is not luck. It is the result of reduced internal resistance. When you are no longer fighting yourself, clarity has room to emerge. You may still encounter challenges, but they feel different now. They no longer define you or derail you completely. Instead, they invite adjustment. You are learning that resilience is not about enduring endlessly, but about adapting intelligently. This adaptability will serve you well in the next phase of your journey. Notice how your pace is becoming more intentional. You are no longer rushing to keep up with others or comparing your progress to external timelines. You are moving according to an internal rhythm that feels more sustainable. This rhythm is unique to you. Trusting it allows you to conserve energy and maintain focus. As Part 3 draws to a close, understand this. You are not in the middle of confusion. You are in the middle of integration. What you have learned is settling into who you are. What you have released is making room for what aligns. You are not drifting. You are orienting, and that orientation is preparing you for what comes next. As you move deeper into this phase, a new kind of awareness begins to surface. One that is quieter but more confident. You may notice that you no longer feel the same urgency to explain yourself, to justify your choices, or to seek approval before moving forward. This is not because you have become distant from others, but because you are becoming more rooted in yourself. When roots deepen, the need for external validation weakens naturally. You may start to recognize how much of your past energy was spent reacting rather than choosing. Situations pulled you forward, demands shaped your days, and expectations guided your decisions. Now there is a subtle but meaningful shift. You are beginning to act from intention rather than impulse. You are choosing your responses instead of being carried by habit. This transition changes not only what you do, but how you experience doing it. There may be moments when old patterns attempt to reassert themselves. Familiar worries resurface. Old doubts knock quietly, testing whether they still have access. When this happens, do not be alarmed. Patterns often reappear briefly when they sense they are losing influence. Their presence does not mean failure, it means completion is near. Acknowledging them without engaging is enough to weaken their hold. You are also learning to trust your pace. There was a time when you felt pressured to move quickly, to keep up, to prove progress. Now you are discovering that speed without alignment leads to exhaustion, while alignment naturally produces momentum. You may find that you accomplish more by doing less, simply because your efforts are no longer scattered. Focus multiplies impact. As clarity strengthens, your priorities become easier to identify. You may feel drawn to projects, conversations, or environments that feel grounded and purposeful. At the same time, you may feel less tolerant of chaos, inconsistency, or emotional noise. This is not intolerance. It is discernment. You are choosing conditions that support growth rather than hinder it. You might also notice a growing sense of responsibility, not the heavy kind that feels burdensome, but a steady awareness that your choices matter beyond the immediate moment. You are becoming conscious of how your decisions shape not only your experience, but your trajectory. This awareness brings care, not fear. It encourages you to choose thoughtfully, not cautiously. There is also a shift happening in how you relate to uncertainty. Uncertainty no longer feels like an enemy to defeat. Instead, it becomes a space of possibility. You are learning that not knowing everything in advance does not mean you are unprepared. It means you are open. Openness allows new information, opportunities, and insights to arrive without resistance. You may find yourself reflecting on how much strength you developed without realizing it. Challenges that once felt overwhelming now feel manageable. Situations that once triggered anxiety now invite reflection instead. This does not mean life has become easier. It means you have become steadier. Strength is often quiet. It reveals itself through consistency rather than intensity. As you continue to integrate what you've learned, you may experience moments of alignment that feel almost effortless. Conversations flow naturally. Decisions feel clear. Opportunities appear without strain. These moments are not accidents. They are signs that your internal state and external circumstances are beginning to synchronize. There may still be periods of waiting, but they feel different now. Waiting no longer feels like stagnation. It feels like readiness. You sense that something is forming, even if it is not yet visible. This kind of waiting is active, not passive. It is filled with awareness rather than frustration. You are also becoming more selective about what you allow into your mental and emotional space. Information that once felt necessary now feels overwhelming. You may choose simplicity over stimulation, depth over quantity, and meaning over noise. This curation is not withdrawal, it is stewardship. You are learning to protect what sustains you. As this part unfolds, you may sense a quiet anticipation, not urgency, not impatience, but readiness. You are not reaching for the next step. You are preparing to recognize it when it appears. This readiness is grounded in trust, not expectation. It allows you to remain present without forcing outcomes. You may also notice that your relationship with effort is changing. You are no longer measuring success by how hard something feels. You are beginning to value efficiency, clarity, and sustainability. Effort still matters, but it is no longer the sole indicator of worth or progress. As Part 4 comes to a close, understand this. You are not merely recovering from the past. You are positioning yourself for what aligns with who you are now. The foundation is solidifying. The noise is fading. The direction is becoming clearer. You are not rushing toward the future. You are meeting it prepared. At this final stage, what emerges most clearly is a sense of grounded readiness. Not excitement that burns fast and fades, not urgency that demands immediate action, but a steady awareness that you are prepared to move when the moment arrives. You are no longer waiting out of fear or hesitation. You are waiting with understanding. This kind of readiness does not come from having every answer. It comes from trusting your alignment. You may notice that your inner dialogue has softened. Where there was once pressure, there is now permission. Where there was once self-doubt, there is now self-respect. You are no longer measuring yourself by external timelines or comparing your progress to others. You recognize that your path has unfolded the way it needed to, shaping you into someone capable of sustaining what is coming next. There is also a deepening sense of responsibility, not the weight of obligation, but the clarity of stewardship. You are becoming aware that what you carry is not just for you. Your growth, your healing, your alignment ripple outward in ways you may never fully see. This awareness does not overwhelm you, it steadies you. It reminds you that moving forward with integrity matters. You may feel moments of reflection arise naturally now. Thoughts about the past surface, not to pull you backward, but to show you how far you have come. You see patterns clearly. You understand why certain doors closed, why certain people faded from your life, why certain seasons stretched longer than expected. Understanding replaces resentment. Gratitude replaces confusion. As clarity settles, you may also notice that your desires feel cleaner. You want less, but what you want matters more. You are no longer chasing distractions disguised as fulfillment. You are drawn toward what nourishes you long-term. This refinement is not loss, it is focus. Focus allows intention to become reality. There is a quiet courage forming in you now. Not the dramatic kind that demands recognition, but the steady kind that shows up consistently. Courage that allows you to choose honesty over comfort. Courage that allows you to walk away without needing to explain. Courage that allows you to trust your discernment even when it is inconvenient. You are also learning to trust timing again, not as a vague concept, but as a lived experience. You see now how things aligned when you were ready rather than when you demanded them. You understand that forcing outcomes would have cost you more than waiting ever did. This understanding gives you peace. You may still encounter uncertainty, but it no longer feels threatening. Uncertainty becomes a space for possibility rather than fear. You are no longer trying to control what comes next. You are preparing to meet it with awareness, adaptability, and clarity. As this long journey reaches its completion, recognize that you are not standing at the end of something. You are standing at the threshold of application. Everything you have integrated now becomes lived experience. Insight becomes practice. Awareness becomes action. Alignment becomes momentum. And now, as promised, the final lines remain exactly as you gave them. Share this message with someone who needs it. Obedience creates movement beyond yourself. Everything you have been waiting for is aligning now. Receive it. Walk forward. Watch what happens next.